I'm Donna.
And I'm Bruce, and this is Lyrical Wisdom.
Hello, everyone. Thanks for tuning in to Lyrical Wisdom, where we dive into song lyrics and offer heart-based wisdom through our interpretations. If you enjoy what you're hearing, don't forget you can catch every episode of Lyrical Wisdom on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, Amazon Music, and more.
You can also find us on YouTube. Just search Lyrical Wisdom Show. Do you have a song you'd like to hear us shed some light on? You can email us requests, questions, comments to lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. That's lyricalwisdomshow@gmail.com. Or leave a comment on a YouTube video. We'd really love to hear from you. And all requests get an episode and a shout out.
So join us every Tuesday and Friday as we dig deep and deliver our wisdom. And thank you for sharing, liking, and subscribing to
Lyrical Wisdom.
Good morning, Bruce.
Good morning, Donna.
You know, it really truly is a good morning. I was just thinking about that. I always say good morning, and I'm like, what if someone's listening to this in the afternoon? And then I'm like, it doesn't matter because right here, right now, with you and I, it is morning, but there are places everywhere where it's not morning. And it's all the same time. So it doesn't matter when or where people are when they're listening to this. Where are they truly, Bruce?
Just another day in paradise. Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah. Thank you. What a wonderful way to lead in. I was just thinking that too. I was like, we always say good morning to each other. And I was like, what would somebody think if I said, well, I guess they used to say top of the morning, and I would like to say it like they did, because they'd be like top of the morning, like there's no F and of top of the morning, and so and no G in morning. But yeah, I mean, what if you were to say fabulous morning or wonderful morning or exquisite morning? I think some of those might sound like they'd be fun, but I feel like they don't roll off the tongue quite as easy as good morning,
Yeah.
So
and good afternoon and good
afternoon. And yeah, you're right, because somebody out there could be listening on the other side of the earth from us, and the only difference between now and then is the fact that they're on the other side where the sun isn't shining, really. I mean, think about it. It's not like it's a different.
That's what it doesn't matter where you are and when you are listening to this, it is now.
Exactly.
We are present with you right now. Thank you. Thank you so much for being with us here on our show, Lyrical Wisdom. We love our time that we spend with you, and we love hearing from you. That really does bring us joy. Don't forget, reach out and let us know you're there. Give us a little love too. Right, Bruce?
Oh, absolutely. Thank you for mentioning that, because we do. We really love every one of you that listens to us out there. And I feel a deep connection to everybody that decides to listen to the show. It is such a wonderful thing.
Yeah.
And we will always, I'll always try to do this. I love doing this. And I can't wait to get to the song that we're going to do today, because
I am
you guys,
so excited. Yeah.
you guys are in for a treat, but check out our Spotify. Check out the playlist there. I am just really amazed with our sound engineer person, and Allie is such a wonderful gift. And so check it out. And also, wherever you find us, just like Donna said, give us some feedback. Tell us what you think. Tell us if you want to hear a different song. You know what we love to do. You've listened to it already. So go ahead and put it in there. Put it in the comments. Do whatever you got to do, and give us your opinion. Give us your thoughts, or whatever it is. If when we talk about stuff, please just go ahead and shoot us some feedback.
Right. And that's, the biggest thing is, give us a song to do. Challenge us,
Yes.
let us shine light on one of your favorite songs. I
Absolutely,
love,
because I
yeah.
mean, is this real life or is this just fantasy, you guys? I mean, come on, let's get into it. Let's find out
Yeah.
what kind of paradise we're living in here.
Yeah, true. Very, very true. Because, you know, sometimes it's fun to escape from
Yes.
reality
Yes, it
and
is.
just be in a place of paradise and joy.
Absolutely. Absolutely.
Yeah. So, boy, those hints are coming. Are we ready, Bruce? Because I know this is gonna be fun, and we hope you all enjoy being with us today for this song. I'm excited for it because it has so much depth and mystery to it.
It does. It
Yeah,
does.
we get to discover, is this real life or is it just fantasy, right?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I can't wait. I cannot
Yeah,
wait.
yeah.
Yeah.
So here we go. Today we have for you Bohemian Rhapsody by Queen. Is this real life? Is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. To me, Mama just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger. Now he's dead. Mama, life had just begun, but now I've gone and thrown it all away. Mama, oh, didn't mean to make you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, as if nothing really matters. Too late, my time has come, sends shivers down my spine. Body's aching all the time. Goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. Gotta leave you all behind and face the truth. Mama, oh, any way the wind blows. I don't want to die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. I see a little silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. Galileo, 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 Figaro, Magnifico. I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him his life from this monstrosity. Easy come, easy go. Will you let me go? Bismillah. No, we will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah. We will not let you go. Let him go. Bismillah. We will not let you go. Let me go. Will not let you go. Let me go. Never let you go. Never, 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 never let me go. Oh, oh, oh. No, 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 no. Oh, Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, Mamma Mia, let me go. Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, for me, for me. So you think you can stone me and spit in my eye? So you think you can love me and leave me to die? Oh, baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just gotta get out. Just gotta get right out of here. Nothing really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. Any way the wind blows. So,
Thank you, Donna.
I can just hear this song in my head while I was reading it, and just the energy
Yeah.
of, ooh, and then let me go, let me go.
Yes, yes, yes.
It takes you just all over the place, I believe,
Well, and it's a
emotionally.
yeah, it's there's been there has been musicals, very, very successful musicals made from these ballads that rock groups have written, like Tommy,
Oh,
you know.
yeah.
And so here I believe to me it's a story and it's a really honestly a beautiful story because Freddie Mercury had such an amazing performing ability, presence, voice. His
Mm,
voice was just amazing. And when you listen to some of the songs like this one that he is writing like this, it's like you could almost imagine him in on stage, in a musical or, in a lot of ways, like writing something that in this case you actually hear opera singers, the energy you're talking about when they start singing certain parts of the songs. It's like there's opera singers in the background who were recorded for that, or at least other artists that were recorded singing very much like that. It's so honestly, it's so beautiful, and it changes. It's like it goes into a slower portion where you feel the ballad is like a little bit less speedy. Then there's that driving like guitar and all the things that happen in here that, oh yeah, I was feeling the same way, Donna. Thank you for
yeah,
mentioning that.
yeah. Well, it's fascinating because the album that this song is released on is called A Night at the Opera.
That's it. Will and there's been a few stories about Freddie Mercury and these things, and I believe that's what they've written about as far as how this was written. It's like honestly, a lot of groups I feel like they go through these periods. So, but let's dive into this. Like because I
Hmm.
feel like we need to start talking about our lyrics.
I believe this was such a like a big, just the way it begins. Is this real life? Is this just fantasy? Just those two lines, like you said, to me, they just bring you to attention. Like, what did they just
Yeah,
say? You know what I
yeah.
mean? It really captures you in that moment of thought, of pondering, because how many of you out there have ever pondered these two questions that this, you know, one single song opens with? Is
Oh
this
my.
real life? Is this just fantasy?
Yeah, and it's done in such an interesting, I want to say harmony, but you can almost hear a little dissonance in the background when you actually listen to them sing it. But the way that they sing this is just so catching to the ear that when they say no, it is such a drop. The deeper voice that says the lyric no in this portion of the song, it just takes
Ah,
you, like it takes you almost to a different place right in that moment. But it's so, I, I know it's not like a barbershop quartet, but it has a little bit of that harmony to it. You know what I mean? And that like way it like
Well, didn't
captures
it
your,
start off a cappella or is there music? I
no,
think it's a
that's,
cappella.
you're absolutely right. It is a cappella. That's why I
Yeah,
say, I don't know if technically that's what I know that it is a cappella. Yeah. But that's another thing. I mean, it's just so incredible. Like it's so beautiful how they begin. And you're right. It just captures you and it makes you suddenly engage. You're engaged with the lyrics and you're engaged with the music, you know?
right. Because is this real life? Or
Yeah.
is this just fantasy? Those are things that I believe we question in our own lives each and every day,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
especially when these beautiful miracles happen and you're like, how did that happen? And that's when you kind of giggle and wonder, wow, is this just a dream? You know,
Yeah.
and then, the bill comes in the mail or you get
Yeah.
sick, you hit the curb with your car, something in real life happens to kind of bring you back to that feeling of the separation, the real duality of living life.
Yes. Yes. And I agree because then I think that what you just said like helps us understand how it goes into the next couple of lyrics, like caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. And there's that
Yeah.
no that I was talking about. It's like I think that this very first paragraph, if you could call it that, it really it really I think synchronizes and it syncs and it harmonizes and it just is a chemical connection that we can feel so viscerally when we think about the words. You know, is
Mhm.
this real life or is this just fantasy? Caught in a landslide, no escape from reality. Like we're in this life, we feel like we're a little overwhelmed. And then it keeps going on. It's like that landslide of just like things. It's like there's a feeling of kind of riding a wave, kind of riding this this unknown force that's kind of moving us all in a direction, and we've been here before, but it just kind of sometimes it feels like it's really moving us that day. It's like, okay, you don't have to hit me with the door on my way out. You could just let the door close behind me when I walk out and not let it hit me, like it's kind of pushing us along, and and I think that's a kind of a cool like way that they kind of tap into, I think, really what a lot of people, a lot of beings out there kind of feel some days.
Well, they because of the lyrics and the words they used, you know, like you said, when he says no escape from reality, the
Yeah.
deepness, the
Yeah.
tones that are in their voices. We all
Yeah.
know how sound can really, really affect us. We were created by sound.
Yeah.
But the
Yeah.
words, too, I believe, have vibration to them as well as their definition.
Oh
So
yeah. Yeah.
this
Yeah.
landslide that they're talking about, and or the wave, whatever you can describe it in however you wish, but it says I'm caught in a landslide. In other
Yeah.
words, it was something I really didn't have control over. I got
Yeah.
caught in it. And I
Yeah.
just have this vision of, like even an avalanche, you're just standing there and all of a sudden the ground just starts moving beneath you. And you
Yeah.
have no choice but to just allow the movement because when
Yes.
you fight it, that's when you get hurt, right?
Yes. Well, yeah. Or you can,
Usually.
yeah, no, and in a, like in riding a wave, because that's exactly
Hmm.
what I was thinking, Donna, is that, caught in a landslide, it can kind of sound like, there's this cool video I saw on like the internet recently where a mama bear covers up this cub right at the front porch of a cabin. Somehow they had like one of those cameras on the front door of the cabin, and behind it there was a landslide going down the mountain, and it was going a
Wow.
different way than where, like it wasn't coming right at the. I don't know if it was coming right at the cabin. All I know is that the mother got the cub in front of her and covered it up. You could see it, and then gets like hit by a blast from the avalanche behind it. And then the cub comes crawling out just fine, like up onto the porch, and she starts
Oh,
licking it, like she totally protected it. But at the same
yeah.
time, we're not thinking of it as a landslide that's like, oh no, like the land is coming for us. It's not that. What we're thinking is simply that, like, riding that wave of feeling exactly like
Life.
what you said, of
Hmm.
exactly of this existence. Some days, I mean, well, actually, not some days. Life is basically what you described it, because we're born into it. It's not like, I mean, I know we choose certain things before we come into it, but I don't want to get too deep into that. I
Hmm.
just want to mention that, after we make those choices and we sign do the things that we do, and then we get released into this existence, and that's it. Like, we got to ride the wave.
Yeah.
There's,
And
you
so,
know,
I mean, they kind of give us like a little help by
yeah,
saying, open your eyes, look up to the skies and see. And I
yeah,
love this, Bruce, because now people are openly talking about their spirituality and what they believe in. And many times I have heard, and you, when one can see with new eyes, in other words, when you can really see, you're not just looking at things, you are seeing. And that's what I believe these lyrics are saying is
yeah,
open your eyes, meaning really look. Look from the soul. I believe the eyes are windows to the
yeah,
soul. So to
absolutely.
open your eyes to me is opening that part of you that is God, that is divine, that is the soul. Look up to the skies and see.
Yeah. Well, and if you take all of this together, it gives us the opportunity to understand exactly what you're saying, because is this a real life? Is this just fantasy caught in a landslide? No escape from reality. Open your eyes, look up to the skies, and see, because in all that we were just discussing, it only takes like a few seconds. Like, if we
Hmm.
think of the time that we've created, this thing that we've created called time, and we think about the fact that, like, all of that stuff, like having that thought, all those thoughts, life, fantasy, landslide, no escape, look up to the sky. It's like you have that in like a second, and you're like looking up to the sky to see. You're like, you know, looking up to the universe, looking up to God, just whatever
I
it
was
is
going
for
to
you,
say, for me, the skies, that's always been taught, I believe.
Yeah. Yeah.
There is a belief that God is in the sky, in the
In the
heavens,
sky.
which is in
Yeah.
the sky. So
Walking
that's
around in
why
the
people,
clouds.
yeah, people look up.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
And
Yeah.
they're, yeah,
And it's I love how it just, kind of goes into, really a little bit more of now let's get everybody caught, totally capture everybody's attention, and then let's move into I'm
this
just a poor boy.
story.
Yeah,
Because I think
exactly.
he's describing himself now. I'm just a
I
poor boy. I
I believe
need
that.
no sympathy
Yeah.
because I'm easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Any way the wind blows doesn't really matter to me. To me,
Yeah.
just,
That's exactly.
the setting is now coming into view of a person that
Yeah.
is
Yeah.
probably on their knees because the ground's coming out from underneath them and they're looking up to the skies and
Yeah. Yeah.
they're describing themselves, and I think they're describing each and every one of us because it there's everyone has that aspect of poor, pitiful me. Look what happened to me. Of
Yes.
that victimhood, I guess, is what, I'm just a poor boy. I need no sympathy.
Yes.
Meaning I
Hmm.
know I'm not perfect. I know I
Yeah.
have flaws. I know I'm, um, you know, I know this. I'm easy come, easy go.
Yeah.
This is, this is, I love the fact that they're also allowing us to see that you can let go of those things too. You
Yeah.
don't have to stay the poor boy
Agreed. Yeah. I couldn't agree with you
because,
more. Like, yeah.
life is like a roller coaster. A
Yeah.
little high, a little low. I have my good days and I have my bad days.
Yeah.
Is that what's happening here, Bruce? Is that how you feel?
Yes, I am totally feeling that exact same thing. And I couldn't agree with you more because I really think that that's exactly where the description is going, because it's, I'm just a poor boy, exactly what you were talking about. I couldn't agree with you more. It's, I don't really need any sympathy. I've done, here I am, I'm not looking for that. I'm just going to tell you a little about me. Here's a kind of synopsis, if you will, kind of a summary of, I think truly Freddie Mercury. And I do believe what you were
Wow.
saying. Like, I do believe that this is a song that touches on his own way of his own, like his own feelings, his own thoughts, his own inner inner soul in that way. And that is something that I think is so beautiful about how he wrote songs in some ways, is that in this particular song, I think that he is speaking about very, very specifically about himself, and especially in the next couple of lines. Um, when, because this sounds very dramatic when he goes into Mama, I
Hmm.
just killed a man, put a gun against his head, pulled my trigger, now he's dead. And I believe, like I said, I believe he's basically describing what he feels like he did to himself
Mm, yeah.
and how he feels in his own way that somehow he is this man. And that is what he is saying. Like, Mom, I just killed myself. I put a gun against my head and pulled the trigger. Now I'm dead,
Yeah.
and he's saying it in a way of, I know that's kind of the impending doom or impending thing that's coming, whatever it might be, like the thing that is going to happen. This is what I feel like I have done. And because, that part of this song, I feel like is, you know, I think a little bit of a little like spice of the flavor of the song really is how it feels to me like he's just talking about himself.
That's a that's beautiful, Bruce, because I mean the other way to look at it is literally. He's
Right. Yeah.
actually making a confession, to his mom. And as you kind of move through the song, it's almost as if he's making it on his deathbed.
Yes.
And
Yes.
and his mama's there with him, Mom, I just killed a man. But I love what you are saying about, yes, this is him saying the me that I was, because it says life had just begun, but
Yeah.
now I've gone and thrown it all away.
Yeah.
He, he threw away everything that was he thought was good about his life.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
He's killed that man.
Yeah. Well, and I'm not going to try to deflect off of, or change anybody's mind out there. If you really believe that he's speaking about, I killed somebody, just like you said, making the confession, and I've gone and thrown it all away, because now a lot of us could associate that with going to prison.
Mm-hmm. True.
And that makes sense, like,
Yeah.
okay, you have to, you do the crime, you got to do the time, if you will. And so it's something that, it could that I mean, I'm not going to try to say, oh no, it couldn't be him speaking in that way, but I do, and my inner feeling on this, definitely, you guys, is he is talking about himself. and
Yeah.
and I agree with you, it could be a song that is, looking back on his deathbed. But I also believe that in writing this and in performing this, it could be his own way of speaking to what he actually lived through or with, until, not necessarily until the end of his days, but what he was living with at that time too. And
Mm-hmm.
so I think, and I think that's a beautiful thing in its way, because gosh, he sings it so beautifully. Mama, um, oh, didn't mean to make you cry. if I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on as if nothing really matters. Um, just really from the heart because,
Yeah, you can see it, Bruce.
yeah,
Well, I can.
yeah, I
I can
agree.
now, where he began because beginning with, is this real life or
Yeah,
is this just fantasy? In other words, it's the beginning of his story where he started pondering those things. He's saying, I'm open your eyes, look up to this guy, and then I'm just a poor boy. You know, I believe you're right, Bruce. I killed that man that I was, and I'm sorry, I'm making you cry. If I'm not back again this time tomorrow, carry on, carry on, as if nothing really matters. And
yeah,
that's what is really allows you, what you're saying, Bruce, to be seen,
yeah.
because that's what he is saying. Nothing really matters. Who knows if this is real life or just fantasy?
Well, and yeah, you're absolutely right because that's another, really live life like it's your last day on earth. Like you could probably think of a million different cliches that you've heard. Carpe diem, very famous Latin phrase.
Hmm.
And that to me is the essence of what I would, of course, want to say to somebody if I was just flying to go live in like somewhere farther away and I wasn't going to see the people that I was currently around. Like, and sometimes you move, you're like, okay, you know what, carry on. Like nothing really matters. Like live every day to the fullest.
Yeah.
It really is a well wishing statement in its own way because, it sounds, like the very first time I heard the song, I can't lie, I kind of took it very literally, but I have come to realize, especially listening to you speak about it today, or we're talking about it now, that, that it isn't speaking to going to prison and these kinds of things. It's more about the fact that he's just speaking from his heart and soul for what he is experiencing in his life. Because then, yeah, it's, it goes right back to from Mama Just Killed a Man talking about himself. Uh, he goes to too late, my time has come. And I think that that's, again, another reference to it's just a different way of saying Mama, I just killed a man. It's like the two are very nuanced. What do you call it? Metaphor, simile, you
Yeah.
know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's just,
Yeah.
it's those things. And so, it's like that to me is what it says. But then he gives us even more, I think, of a sense. And this is where I finally, like even before, I kind of felt like, okay, there's something more to what he's saying right here when he says, sends shivers down my spine, body's aching all the time. And I think that that's, like I said, I think that's saying more about his own personal experiences. Freddie Mercury himself, speaking to what he is, engaged with in his experience with life.
Yeah. In other words, I think he's realizing where he's at in his life. And I believe that's a point we all get to, in that
Yeah.
we call it rock bottom or whatever, when you get to a point where you're just that who you were being in that moment must die in order for you to rise up and become somebody new that has overcome whatever it is that made you hit rock bottom.
Oh, absolutely. And we
And
could look to nature. Yeah.
that's
We could
what
look to,
he's saying here, right,
yeah.
Bruce?
Yeah.
You're
Yeah. Yeah.
saying,
Yeah.
I killed a man. I killed that man in me,
Mm-hmm.
and too, too late. My time has come, sends shivers down my spine. It's the realization that, yeah, I'm this body, this being that has been here is finished, is done. And goodbye, everybody. I've got to go. gotta leave you all behind and face the truth.
Well, yeah, definitely. Well, it's one of the few times in a way, it's a moment in the song where he does speak to his own experience, his own illness. And he speaks to
Ah.
my body's aching all the time, too late. It's like he's fine. It's like you kind of get that little hint, but it's not like right in your face. It's not like he throws it in your face. It's very, it's subtle. And that's what I love about it is that it's a beautiful, beautiful song. But, at first you're not really realizing. And then when he starts to talk in here, these kind of words, they finally kind of open that door a little bit enough for you to see. And I think that's where he finally kind of gives you that hint. And I agree with you, goodbye, everybody. I've got to go because he knows, this is what I'm dealing with. And this is what is happening that I can see and feel and sense and whatever. And so he's being very honest with himself too. And especially with the next few lyrics, because he, I don't think that he says got to leave it all behind to face the truth necessarily to say there is something that I have I needed to learn, because I do believe that this song also speaks to the fact that he knows he lived his life very
Mm.
fully, very well. He enjoyed his life. And I think that there's an appreciation there, but there's an understanding too that this is where I'm going now and I get to face the truth. Well, hello. I know that when I transition, I'm going to find out some truths. I look forward to that. And it's not to say that I want to die, that's not the case at all. I just think that, it's I think that yeah, there are some things that he's starting to kind of point at here in a way, but at the same time, there's an appreciation for a life well lived in its own way, but there's also the fear. And so I believe that saying that he's going to face the truth is a lot of like what I think we're talking about. It's like it's coming to the next, what happens next, because that is a fantastic voyage that we all get to experience. And, like I don't believe that, you know what I mean? Like, what happens next? Well, we get to face the truth,
And
honestly.
that's, yeah, for me, that's where beauty lies because by facing that truth, for me, is what is your truth inside of you? What
Yeah.
truly, truly brings you joy? One has to sit in that space of nothingness and everything all at once, to find the truth
Yeah.
within. And to
Yeah.
me, that's the facing of the truth is I got to face the truth of who and what I really am. What
Yeah.
is it
Yeah.
that brings me joy? What is it that, I want out of this life? And the truth could, I mean, there's so much to that word because, like you mentioned, his body and his illness, it's, it could be the truth of that illness taking him too
Yeah.
soon. You know what I'm
Yeah.
saying?
Yeah. Yeah.
There, it's such a beautiful, beautiful way of saying, yeah, I'm saying goodbye. I've got to go so I can face my truth.
Yes. Yeah.
And
Yeah.
that's,
Yeah.
yeah.
And I love that because I think that, whenever I hear that, you know, it really reminds me that there is that for all of us because I
Hmm.
mean, like we don't nobody really knows. I mean, there's people that have had near death experiences and I would love to hear from you if you have, if you want to make a
Ooh,
comment or
yeah.
something. Yeah, I mean, but that is a thing that can be very, individual in its own way. And so I really think that that's a truth that we all get to face in a wonderful way, and,
Yeah.
then he goes on to mama, ooh, and he says, ooh, in a way I can't sing it, but any way the wind blows,
Yeah.
I don't want to die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. And I feel like that's a little bit of a, he kind of exposes, like he said before, easy come, easy go, little high, little low. Well, right now, I'm having one of those little low moments, You know,
Mm,
I'm not
hmm.
exactly Mr. Little High today. I'm going to be Mr. Low a little bit. And I'm just going to say, some days I just like say this because that's what I'm feeling. And yes, that is what we should all be able to do, because that's how we feel. We are not all imperfect. We are perfect creations. We are beautiful, beautiful beings that, if we feel that way, go ahead and speak your feelings, speak your truth. I feel like words are wands, and I think that we need to appreciate our ability to release them into our existence.
I agree. And when I read these lyrics, I had a quick vision and remembrance of sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. It's a very famous movie where they allow that wish to come true, right?
Wow.
At Christmas
Wow.
time.
Oh yes. Holy
Yes.
cow. Donna, I
And
didn't, wow, that's
he gets
amazing.
his wish of having never been born.
Yeah.
And through that wish, it's a wonderful life. And he discovers how wonderful life really is
Yeah.
through all those ups and downs,
Yeah.
through all that aching of the body and the pain that one, has. It's really, really a blessing to be able to experience something like that.
Oh,
And
absolutely.
right.
Absolutely. Yeah. And I feel like you just hit like that's so beautiful. Like I didn't put that together with that movie. I definitely remember, because in that movie, even Stewart, what was his first name? Uh the lead character in that movie, he has those moments. Jimmy
Jimmy.
Stewart.
Mm-hmm.
Jimmy Stewart, yeah. He has those moments in the movie where he's like, I don't want to die. I don't want to have this happening to me. This is like, why is this happening? Like,
Right.
rah, like we all have those moments. Holy cow. Traffic is my favorite, you know, like
Yeah.
in the car where I feel like nobody can hear me or see me and I'm rawr. But I mean, that's the thing is he also, I really do believe that he expresses a lot of joy for a life well lived, you know. And I think we're going to see that like with, the next as the song develops, because yeah, he says, I don't mama, any way the wind blows. In that little way, it's is in the song. He says, I don't want to die. I sometimes wish I'd never been born at all. Of course, he has these feelings. He expresses these things. And that's where I feel like it comes really from the heart and soul for Freddie Mercury in this song.
Well, yeah,
And then
because any way the wind blows to me is simply surrender.
yeah, yeah,
I'm just going any way the wind blows. I'm
yeah,
surrendering. I don't want to die, but I'm surrendering. And
yeah. And I
then
think,
the
yeah,
fantasy, the visual comes in. And
yeah,
this is the fun part because we
yeah,
get transported to the opera, to the play, to
yeah,
his life,
yeah,
right?
yeah,
Because he sees the silhouette of a man. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango?
yeah.
I love that. Who's asking? I mean, we know it's him asking. Is it, Scaramouche? I did not know what that was. And
I don't think a
so,
lot of people ever did. And I think we're going to really open a door here. So do it.
yeah,
I love
yeah,
this.
I love this. And thank you, Allison. We have our little tech guru, like you said, that helps us. Scaramouche is a stock clown character from the 16th century, kind of like the court jester, is
Yes,
what I imagine.
yes, yes.
So, imagine a court jester. It's someone who is a clown. They're, known for being beaten and being silly and, being not, allowing people to take advantage of them, maybe
Well, and in a way, honestly, it's we we
to
should
be
probably
laughed at.
well, because we should probably phrase it a little more as slapstick comedy, where the
Ah,
character is intentionally being funny, intentionally being silly, all of those things, with
yeah.
also the ability to kind of take a little bit of, I want to say, a little bit of abuse. And it's not true abuse. It's just, to be the character that is like being tripped or whatever it might be, in a silly and comedic way. I don't want it to sound like the guy is playing a character that gets to be made fun of and beaten up and, oh, that's funny, because that doesn't sound very funny. But
Well,
I mean, I'm
it's
just,
the Three Stooges.
yes, very good. Very good. Yeah.
I mean, that's an old show, and some of you out there may not be familiar with it, but the Three Stooges, yeah, that is
Yeah.
definitely that slapstick character because the
Yeah.
bald guy, he'd get slapped on his bald head all the
Yeah. Yeah.
time, and the
Yeah.
poke him in the eyes, and
Yeah.
we laughed at
All
it.
that. Oh,
We
yeah.
found it entertaining.
Oh, that was
So there
hilarious.
is
Yeah.
something entertaining about being a Scaramouche.
That
I
is. Well,
love the
and
fact that he then says, "Will you do the fandango?"
yeah.
And a fandango, we both know, Bruce, is a very passionate Spanish folk dance, right?
Yes. Yes. Very
And so,
passionate.
right, and it's a couple.
Yeah.
So he's asking Scaramouche to do the fandango with him, which
Yeah.
is, it tells a story. That type of dance is a way to express yourself in your
Yeah.
story, whether it's love or a challenge or, whatever it is that you're wanting to express, it comes through in the dance.
Oh, absolutely. Yeah, I couldn't agree more. It's like, it's inviting. He's inviting, or Freddie Mercury is inviting Scaramouche to dance with him, and in a very passionate Spanish dance. Absolutely. And
Yeah.
for the sake of having humor,
Yeah.
because it is Scaramouche. It's not like it's a very specific mention of a very specific character, very intelligently put, all
Uh-huh.
of this. And it's
Yes.
just amazing. He puts this in there because, it's a beautiful way of saying a word, and also these things, they sound, do the fandango, it almost sounds like it's something silly. And I'm thinking a lot of people thought it was, but it's a very, very beautiful, energetic and passionate Spanish dance, a lot like flamenco, and between two people that is passionate. So there's a
Hmm.
little more to this. There's some humor, there's some passion, love. And so I think that's a really important part to remember. It's not just like this silly thing. It sounds like it almost, but it's really not. And it doesn't just let off the gas there. Like, he's really pushing the gas down on that pedal in that car, because he says, you know, thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me, you know,
Yeah.
like it's a little bit of, I think right here, he's describing the experience. Scaramouche, Scaramouche, will you do the fandango? Will you,
Yeah.
and then he has this dance. They have this moment. And, like, I don't know
Thunderbolt
how
and
else to,
lightning. Bam, it
yes.
hits. I
Yeah.
mean,
Yeah.
he doesn't just, he says a thunderbolt,
Yeah.
which is very powerful and it's focused. It's
Yeah.
singular.
Yeah.
It's a thunderbolt
Yeah.
and lightning. So
And
there
I mean,
was a
this is,
bright light there.
there's a big natural occurrence in that
Hmm.
moment, like huge, like, and so, that is, I think that's because he's like, that's why he says very, very frightening me, because he's like, a lot of us, it's almost like that moment, honestly, this is weird to say, but I was watching Wheel of Fortune the other day, and somebody that says the right phrase and then wins that thing at the very end, they almost
Hmm.
have that moment where they're like, oh, they're so like astonished at what happens, that it's almost like a fear. It's almost like such a surprise that that is the experience they're having. And so I think there's something to that. I think it's not just because of the fact that he's saying, it's a big deal. He's also saying that it's a really cool big deal. Like, this is
Hmm.
huge. This is huge.
That moment you're describing, Bruce, I do believe we have a phrase for it, and it's
Yes.
called thunderstruck,
Hey, hey,
right?
bam. Oh, yeah. Oh,
Yeah.
yeah.
So he was thunderstruck.
He
And I love
was.
it because that's what he is saying. This, like we were talking about, this is him having a crisis with,
Yeah.
his human and his divine.
Yeah. 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 Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it's
No,
so, and in that moment, I had a thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening. Galileo, 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 Figaro, Magnifico.
yes.
I,
It's,
how do you read that? Because for me, Galileo, he, he was such a explorer,
well,
um,
and
inventor, creator.
well, and
Um,
I want to say that it's interesting, and I don't want to lose this on this, you know what I mean? Like this thing. It's interesting that he mentions Galileo here, and I always took that as being, yeah, you guys know out there, I'm singing this guy's name because he was like one of the first known kind of scientists that was also like persecuted, or like they didn't want to believe him because of what he was finding out. They're like, no, that goes against what we think right now. We don't like you. And I think that's why he's saying that. And also bringing in Figaro, because I remember hearing people sing that, like Figaro, Figaro, Figaro. Like, it's like something that people would sing. And so I think there's a little bit of that kind of flavor to the song. Like, hey, here's, I'm going to say thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me, Galileo, 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 and then Figaro, and then Magnifico, saying, this
mhm.
is like, okay, maybe this is something people wouldn't agree with, but I'm going to have this moment. And then Magnifico, like thunderbolt and lightning, very, very frightening me. This could be kind of an exclamation of a very big, beautiful climax,
I was
for
going to
lack of a better
say,
way of saying it.
yes, for me, it's the discovery of that self he's looking for.
Yes.
And in that dance, in the fandango with Scaramouche, he had an epiphany. He had that thunderbolt of,
Yes.
whoa, and Galileo, just the difference of the tone when they start singing
Yes.
Galileo
Yes.
to me
Yes.
definitely emphasizes that moment of I'm a discoverer.
Yeah. Yeah.
I
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
am a symbol of wit and defiance,
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah.
Magnifico, which
Yeah.
is a
Yeah.
noble title and it elevates everything and it expands it, makes it even bigger. So,
And
yeah.
yeah, and it's like saying awesome,
Right.
magnificent,
Right.
like
Right.
magnifico.
Yeah.
Like,
Right.
honestly, yeah, I feel like it's that
Because
I'm just a poor
I'm
boy.
just a poor boy. Nobody loves me.
Yeah.
And then I want to know, Bruce,
Uh-huh.
all of a suddenly here comes like the rest of the choir singing.
Yes. Yes.
He's
To
just a
me, this
poor
is
boy from a poor family. Spare him his life from this monstrosity.
it's a way of him, I think, saying, and I think those are the voices in his own head, just like we all have,
Okay.
and I times, I think I have that kind of pondering mind some nights. I think everybody has times when they're like, gosh, I just need to shut my mind off. I keep thinking about these things, or sometimes maybe you just have a song bouncing through your head. But I think that that's where, these are the kind of the things that are singing sometimes in his head, because he comes right back to who he kind of saw himself as before, into what he is now finding himself with Scaramouche doing this fandango, having this amazing thunderbolt lightning moment. And here's the climax, Magnifico. And then, wait a minute, I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. And then there's those other voices. He's just a poor boy from a poor family. Spare him his life from this thing that is hard kind of to believe in, like they treated Galileo, because they kind of didn't want to believe in Galileo at the time. And later on, after Galileo dies, we found out, oh, the guy was onto something. And I think that's kind of what he's making a mention of is he's like, here's these voices in his head saying, no, you're not doing the thing that you're supposed to be doing. Spare him his life, his life from this monstrosity. He's kind of making that comment of, I'm finding myself, and now I'm having a little, I don't want to say shame, but just like a little bit of like a hesitation. Like, what am I doing? Am I
He's
doing the right
having
thing?
doubt, Bruce,
Yeah,
like
yeah,
we
yeah, yeah.
all do.
Yes, yes,
That wound from within that is so deep, that is unworthiness, but I'm just a poor boy. Nobody loves me. And
yeah,
for me, I think the chorus coming in at that time and saying, he's just a poor boy from a poor family, I think it's the echo of that wound
yes.
that we need to see. And that echo is saying, this is what you think. Let's
Hmm.
spare him from this monstrosity. I
Yeah,
think that they are the guides and helpers and angels,
yes,
maybe too, speaking to him.
yeah,
Sometimes
yeah.
those voices in our heads are there to help guide us
Oh, yeah.
and show us that we are more than just a poor boy.
Yes, absolutely. Absolutely. Because when it goes on into the next portion, like
Hmm.
we just learned some things about the song you guys were really
Yes.
excited about, because then he goes back to easy come, easy go, will you let me
Yeah,
go?
I'm,
Like,
easy come, easy go. I'm just a little puny human being,
yeah,
will
yeah,
you let me go?
yeah, yeah, yeah,
And
yeah. And
what do those voices, what does it say?
what's this? I'm so grateful.
Bismillah.
Yes, Bismillah, which,
No, we will not let you go.
yeah,
And then there's let him go.
yes, in the
This
background,
other
yes, let me
is
go.
that struggle of the angel and the devil on the shoulder that we all have, right?
Yeah, 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 yeah. And that's what's funny is a lot of times, I mean, there are so many different words. Well, not so many. There's a couple of moments that this one I didn't know what they were saying for the longest time until today. And Bismillah is meaning in the name of God, the most gracious, the most merciful. It's a fundamental Islamic phrase recited before beginning any action to invoke blessings, seek help from Allah, and align actions with divine will, adding spiritual significance to daily tasks and worship, with its fuller form often being Bismillah. And I'm so grateful for Ali finding that, because
In Yemen,
that
yes.
it's like,
It's an invocation.
yes,
It's a prayer.
yeah,
You know, it's it says it's a way to start everything from
yeah,
eating and praying to important work, asking for, the presence of God in whatever name you call it to be
yes,
with you.
yeah.
So for me, that was the Bismillah, no, we will not let you go, is that spiritual support.
Yeah, I agree. I agree. And I
And
think
then
that's,
comes the little, let him go.
yeah, 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 yeah. Like the other side, the not Bismillah side, if you will. No, I just, I do agree with you, because like in a way, that's the thing, is that there's this kind of duality of this moment where, you definitely kind of get a sense to me, that he's being pulled in different directions. And that's
Yeah.
what this is talking about. And it's,
It repeats three
yeah,
times, which we know is a way of really allowing the listener to absorb it, to really know that this is a moment, this is a, a point that that the creator of the lyrics really wanted people to understand and to know. Bismillah, no, we will not let you go. Bismillah, we will not let you go.
Yeah.
Bismillah, we will not let you go.
Yeah.
It's
It and it goes from
mhm,
there to will not let you go. Let me go. Will not let you go. It's just it's constant.
right.
It becomes this
The
thing where you
battle
can
of self.
yeah, and it's like they're like they just come back in. They're like, no, 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 no. I mean, it couldn't be any stronger. And I think that that's where I feel like it really accelerates. Like I was thinking, like he starts the song so slow and beautiful in this like really slow portion, and then they go into the story and talking about all these things, and he's like, oh, Mamma Mia, let me go. And it just kind of becomes like a little bit of a, like, I feel like you can feel like this sense of like having to just relax and let go,
Yeah.
just let go and let it flow and be what is his true inner being for Freddie Mercury in this moment, because I really feel like that's where it kind of heads into right there. It's like, Mamma Mia, because I feel like it's like what we were talking about, that thunderstruck, it's like, wow, holy cow, this
Yeah.
is what this is where I can be.
I think
So
Mamma Mia is, a lot of us do know that phrase
yeah,
of something that is either like exciting and very, welcoming.
yeah,
Mamma Mia. It's, I think it's, it's not just his mother that he's talking to.
yeah,
It's, it's that, oh my gosh, wow, that mother energy
yeah. and and
of,
and and
yeah,
shock, like
yes.
this. I think thunderstruck is a really great way to put it, because I think that doing the fandango with Scaramouche was quite an experience. And so,
Hmm.
hey, boom, and that's the thing, is then there's like, wait a minute, should I feel like this, should I not feel like this, do I feel okay with this, do I not feel like it, and there's the like you said, those supporters coming in, and then finally, like, there's this. And I think that, like, Scaramouche, like I said before, there's humor injected here, and I think that when he goes into Beelzebub, has a devil put aside for me, I think that's where he's kind of adding a little bit of that humor in there. Like, okay, yeah, I'm going to admit that, Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me, because I have a little devil. I think a lot of us can kind of have a smile and a smirk and a wink on that one, and just know that, hey, yeah, I mean, come on. We can all be little devils. We can all be a little mischievous. We can all be a little bit on the other side of that line of what we feel like we should always be doing, like
Right.
kind of doing our, you know, whatever it is for all of us out there that is um, pushing those things inside of us that we feel like we get kind of crazy, and I don't mean like truly like out there kind of wild or whatever, but your own inner wild, your own inner, like, push your limits. For
Right.
some people it's just walking around bare feet, you know I don't know, but it's just, I think that's what he's saying when he says Beelzebub has a devil put aside for me,
Hmm.
because I mean, yeah, he's like,
That's
oh yeah.
because most people, I believe, know Beelzebub as the like the prince of demons.
Yes, the biblical.
In other
Yeah,
words, he can assign everyone the little, like I said, angel devil on the shoulder kind of thing.
yeah,
It's
yeah,
it is like you said, with a little bit of humor and acknowledgement for life.
yeah,
What we're talking about here,
yeah,
there
yeah.
is, everybody has that darkness to help them understand that they are light.
That they are light. Yes, they are. And
Yes.
we and that's the thing, is I feel like he's tapping into that in the song. He's tapping into the fact that, he feels like he's lived a life that has obviously, like, there was some really thunderstruck moments and awesome things, magnifico, like it's been good. It's just he also knows that, some of these things have kind of, it's the path that we accelerate ourselves on. We are on these paths, and it's not necessarily something that you can understand. Is it life or is it fantasy? What the heck was this, a dream? Like it's all that, I think. And it's all like, in his way, he's just letting us know that he's
He's
as
gotten
human
to
as.
that point because
Yeah,
it's very right here,
yeah,
in the ending, he makes his point very well. So you
oh
think
yeah,
you can stone me and spit in my eye. So you
yeah,
think you can love me and leave me to die.
yeah,
It's 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 fascinating how he began with two questions.
oh
Is this
yeah,
fantasy or is this reality? And he ends it with two questions as well. You think
yeah,
you can stone me and spit in my eye? You think
yeah,
you can love me and leave me to die?
yeah,
These are things to me that, it reminds me as a child, the old saying, sticks and stones may break my bones, but
yeah,
words can never hurt me. In other
yeah,
words, I think he's made it to that point
yeah,
where you can you can throw stones all you want. You can spit in his eye all you want. You can love him and leave him. It's a part of, in other words, he realizes where he's at and who he really is, I
yeah,
think.
yeah, yeah. Because he just says, no, I'm not going to let you do those things to me. Can't, oh baby, can't do this to me, baby. Just got to get out. Just got to get right out of here. Of course. I mean, it really does make sense like that. I agree. It's like, it's just kind of funny too that, being stoned or having being spit in the eye, you know, I don't know if that's a reference to what kind of punishment you could actually receive somewhere, but I know in some places they have some pretty physical punishments for certain crimes that they believe
Hmm.
you've committed. And so, um, I have to say that, he could be making a reference to that too in some
I
ways.
was going
How,
to say, yes, there's a lot of biblical references
oh
because
yeah,
Beelzebub's in the Bible.
yeah,
And
yeah,
yeah, and so that's what they did. The Bible is all full of people being stoned.
oh
It's,
yeah.
that you're
It's,
right. It was a way of punishing someone.
yeah. And so I think that, he makes these references like, do you think you could do that? I mean, like, and in a way, like you could say, like I was saying before, Freddie Mercury could be singing to himself saying, I am not just singing about my story, but I'm also singing to me. And he's like, hey, do you think you could do that to yourself? You can't do that to me. I just got to get out of here, And it's his like way of just being like, you know what? No, I'm listening to these voices who are going to be supportive of the things that I am doing, because no matter what, it definitely was the right thing for me to do. It was, I mean, it's it's sometimes hard to accept those things, when they put you on certain pathways, but at the same time, I really think that, it's definitely, it was a life well lived in that way, and I think it goes on to say that too, like, hey, I really do appreciate where, what I have done in my life in that way. He then just
Yeah.
kind of goes into the nothing really matters and, ending, and it really, to me, it kind of speaks to that, like,
I think you're
lit.
right, Bruce. Yeah, because when it says just gotta get out, just gotta
Yeah,
get right out of here. In other words, I see where I'm at. I'm stoning myself.
yeah,
You know, I'm
yeah, yeah,
I'm I'm in that place of not feeling not feeling that beauty that I really truly am, not
oh yeah,
feeling that spiritual divinity within me.
oh yeah,
I'm on my knees and I'm stoning myself.
yeah,
And
yeah,
in that moment, he realized, I think, is by saying, nothing really matters. Anyone can see.
Yeah.
Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me. He's
Yeah.
made it to that point. There was a course I took a long time ago called Personal Mastery. And
Yeah.
I learned something in that course that I've used throughout my life, and it really does help, Bruce. I've said it to my kids that nothing really, it's not right or wrong. It just is.
Yes.
You get to a
Yes.
point in your life where you realize you stop labeling as good or bad, as light, as dark, and you realize, evil versus good, you just realize it just is.
Oh my
It
gosh,
just
that's so,
is.
yeah. And
And
I love
yeah,
that. I love
yeah.
that.
And I think that's what he's saying here.
Yeah. Yeah.
Nothing
Yeah.
really matters. Anyone can see. Nothing really matters. Nothing really matters to me.
Yeah.
Anyway, the wind blows.
Yeah. 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 It's like, I was just thinking about what you were just saying, and um, I would recommend people, if you would like to read a really great book on what Donna just said. There's a very like fun thread in the Tao of Pooh and the Tay of Piglet,
Oh, I
and
love it.
I love those books because I think that they say a lot of what you're, well, it's the Taoism part of it, of course, and I can't comment on that because it's not something that I feel like I should. I just want to say that I believe in it. And when you said everything just is, I feel like that's a thread throughout that book,
Hmm.
through the two books. And I agree. I think that that's why I say, however the story of Freddie Mercury's life is, the thing about Bohemian Rhapsody that rings true is that he is singing about finding himself, talking, singing about finding himself, singing about the person that he discovered, and singing about the process of living in that and living through that experience. And I really feel that, because then at the end, and through it, I think he's saying exactly what you said. It just is. And it's been a life well lived. I mean, look at it however you will. Whatever I've done, okay, like I've had my little high and my little low, but I got to tell you, anyway the wind blows, man, because I'm here and I'm thunderstruck sometimes,
Yeah,
like then. So
yeah,
I think it's a really beautiful song and a beautiful way of saying those things. But you know, I know there's a little more nuance to all of this. I just know that it really rings true to me in this song. This really, really connects with me.
yeah, yes. It was a beautiful song, beautifully
Yeah,
written.
yeah.
And yeah, thank you.
No,
I'm
thank
trying
you.
to, how do I say that? I'm trying to figure out how to say it's been a beautiful day with you all.
Yes, yes, it has.
Yeah,
It has.
yeah,
It
yeah.
has. And
So, it is. This is life. Enjoy life any way the wind blows.
yeah, any way
Just,
you enjoy life.
yeah, be in it and enjoy
Yeah,
it. Yeah,
absolutely.
yeah. Thank you. Thank you, Bruce. Thank you, each and every one of you. We appreciate you and we hope to hear from you soon. Thank you for joining us here today on
Lyrical
Wisdom.